Hi, I'm Sylvia Gordon.
And I'm Rebecca Gordon.
We are the Sisters of Selling.
Oh.
Okay, we're talking about the very fun topic of the CMS proposed new Medicare marketing guidelines for 2024.
Super excited, and I'd love to stay awake late at night and read all of these.
Okay, so let's start off with the fact that, go back to the ads. I think all agents have united in their hatred of these ads, right?
I would absolutely say, and I kind of feel bad for Joe Namath because he sounded like a nice guy, but in the insurance world, everybody hates him.
Right, unless you work for those companies that are generating those leads. The rest of us field agents have been very upset from the tone of these these ads.
They're misleading.
That we united, we kind of feel that they are misleading.
Yes.
And there's been a lot of complaints generated by these ads to Medicare and to our elected representatives, so that now we have some proposed changes.
Okay, so
Solutions.
the first one is you cannot have an ad and talk about benefits without listing a carrier.
So like this says, you may be entitled to transportation, meals, flex card, grocery money. No,
Can't do that anymore.
that goes away. You have to be under the auspice of a carrier. So you can say, Humana, in certain zip codes, offers.
And how often is Humana going to approve an agent or agency to have a commercial with their name?
So that's what remains to be seen. We don't know how these large call centers, how they're going to respond to this, because this is where they're getting their leads. So we don't know what's going to happen, but we all have been clamoring for some change. So let's talk about some of the proposed changes. First, let's talk about how these rules happen. What's the process when CMS puts out a proposed rule?
So they put out their proposed rule, and they have a timeline for all of their stakeholders and agencies, and basically for anybody to submit their response against their rules. And then what they're supposed to do is they put all the information together, they weigh it, and then they make a decision.
And then that's what you find out at the end of the summer, what the rules are for next year.
And they'll go back and forth, and they'll make revisions, or
Yeah, they could listen to everybody, all the stakeholders' advice, or they could ignore completely. Who knows what's going to happen? We're telling you what the proposals are right now. So CMS has proposed that in order to run a Medicare Advantage or a Part D ad, you have to be under the auspice of a company, of insurance company. You can't just do it like they're doing it now. So that sounds
That's kinda
good.
cool.
That sounds like a win. Another thing that's so annoying with these ads is, how about this? Yeah. How about this? How about the disclaimer? The disclaimer that plans are no longer available, may not be available in all areas. So this is non-government. All those. That's the last couple of years we worked on getting that in there, and then they hide it in size 5 font.
size 5, or they say it in like super psycho speed. So now,
All plans might not be available in private government. This is not original government Medicare.
okay, yeah,
Nobody heard that.
nobody can hear that.
But they satisfied the letter of the law by saying it.
So now what are they doing?
Not the spirit of the law. So we're changing the letter of the law since they won't follow the spirit of the law.
So now it has to be 12 font, which personally I still think is just.
I think when people send me an email and it's a 12, I'm irritated.
I am too.
I
I'm
want
14.
a 14. I want a 14. I want my
All the
Excel
way.
in 14.
And you have to read at the same pace.
Yeah, so if you're speaking the disclaimer on TV, online, or radio, you have to speak at the same vocal speed as your ad.
That's going to be fun.
Got him there, right?
I think these are winnish. I think
Yes,
I like what we're seeing here.
Nobody's going to be upset about this. Now, what is something they are going to be upset about?
Well, they are going to be upset about potentially having to list all the carriers you work with.
So the reason CMS is proposing this is because, like, when these ads first came out, they made it seem like they represented everybody everywhere. And I called right away when I saw that ad, and they represented 3 companies. It was 2 national companies and 1 local in Florida. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, your ad is extremely misleading, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that bodes well for field independent agents like us, because if you only work for the carrier, you're a captive agent, you're going to say, I only sell Physicians Mutual. That's right. All I got. I only sell for, right? So I can say I'm an independent agent. I'm licensed with over 62 different insurance companies because I'm giving you a large choice in the market. Now, the rule that changed last year is you had to say, I don't represent everybody in the market.
Right.
But we do have agents that represent everybody in the market.
In their market.
Yeah, in their market. Yeah. So you have to say, I don't represent everybody in the market. Here's the 62 companies that I do represent. And you could have a discussion at that point. If you don't have a relationship with the company, you could say, I don't represent Fidelis and Oscar or whatever. There's stakeholders that aren't exactly excited about having to do this because it's just more burden.
It's confusing. You know, I think people can go two ways with it. One, you can really sell yourself. Having all these companies gives you more credibility. You've been doing this longer. But then I think it could be confusing.
It's just more confusion.
Because then I wonder, why are you showing me all these when you're talking about this? Why don't we look at...
It definitely has
a
room
lot
to
of
sow
clutter.
more confusion. I think clutter is a good word. Again, who knows where that will change. It's easy to list them on your website. It's not as easy to keep them up to date, as we all know. Keeping anything up to date on your website is a little bit of a challenge. If you're face-to-face, I mean, yeah. Well, again, all of this is developing, and we will find out in the end of the summer what the final rule looks like. So let's talk about the 48-hour rule.
So we have the 48-hour rule for the scope.
Ideally, you get your scope filled out 48 hours in advance, unless there's some reason why you can't, then just write why you can't.
Right. It became
no big deal.
Very doable.
Right.
But now they don't want to do it. They don't want it doable anymore. They want to give you time to think about it, to really think if you want to go through with the appointment.
So they want you to sign your scope of appointment and have a pause of 48 hours, period, firm, in all cases, period, before you have that appointment with the client. Yeah. So that's going to be a nightmare for the call centers. That's not, it's going to really put a wrench in how they do business.
Absolutely.
If I'm a field agent, I can live with it. It's a pain. I don't want to do it.
It's a total pain.
Especially if somebody calls you at the end of the month.
Right. So here we are at the end of the month. If somebody was to call anybody at the end of any month, what would you have to say to them?
So I have people all the time call me on the last day of the month, and they're always like, I'm sorry. I know I should have done this. They're sorry. You're ashamed. I got it. I'm like, that's fine. We specialize in this. It's going to be a little clunky, but we're going to get it done. Okay. So if they call me now under the new rule, I'd say, well, sorry.
Right. You got to go home and think about it.
Yeah. Call me back in 2 days, in which case now you can't start Part B for another month. I mean, it's not good.
That one hasn't been thought through.
I would love it if they did it to call centers, because they're the high pressure ones. They're the ones that are generating the complaints. Now, I have not seen the complaints this year, but we're privy to all the complaint data for the last 3 years. And the complaints keep doubling off of the backs of these call centers, not off the backs of field agents.
No,
our complaints are level.
But we would be remiss to say that our call centers that we work with, they do it right. We're talking about some of those.
I'm talking about
really
the largest. Centers, the gigantic.
There's a lot of you out there that do a great job and aren't in that pool, but the
mega corporations,
those mega ones, yeah.
We know who we're talking about here, okay? Those guys, I would love for them to have a 48-hour wait, because they're the ones that are generating the complaints. If they're causing the problem, how can we not have some differentiation of the rules here? Right. And nobody's talked about that. They keep putting a big net out, and it's hurting the field agents. Mm-hmm. So we had so many field agents that would not sell last AEP. They're like,
because of the recording.
Yeah. They're like, I'm out.
Right.
I'm not going to tell them I don't represent every plan. When I do represent every plan, then they just
yeah.
Yeah. So this one size fit all
ain't working.
Is unfortunate. But again, there's no limit in the new regulation for an emergency. Like if it's not practical, because they just moved or they're whatever just happened, for us to do it immediately. It's just a hard 48-hour wait. So we're hoping that the stakeholders will get through to them, and CMS will change what they feel about that.
In the meantime, should you email Sylvia or myself, make sure it's 14 font.
The last thing was the name of your insurance agency.
We are still doing that.
An insurance agency. Right. Don't email me in 12 font. Don't email me in all caps either, because I'm going to hit the delete on you.
All caps is yelling.
Medicare.gov. Medicare.gov.
It's a great name.
That's a great name.
That is
I'm
fantastic.
sure eHealth paid a lot of money for that name.
Yeah.
And it's very misleading, right?
Too bad it might have to go away.
Right. So they're required now to put a little disclaimer saying they're a non-governmental entity. If you have the name Medicare anywhere in your corporate name, on your website, whatever you do business with, if it could possibly lead a reasonable person to think that you work for the federal government, then you need to put this disclaimer on your website right now. And the insurance companies, they're all doing audits on everybody's sites.
Yep.
And notifying them about that right now. But the proposed rule
is that you can't use it at all.
you got to get rid of the
Can't
name
use
Medicare.
Medicare. Yeah.
And I'm in favor of that. You know?
I'm in favor of it because enough people have taken advantage of it
Right.
to hurt seniors.
Well, my handle on TikTok is the Medicare Mama. You know, so I'm like, am I confusing people that they think I really work for Medicare? Like, would Medicare hire this? No.
You're the mom of Medicare.
I'm the mom. But I agree, if there's a chance that it would confuse people, I'm happy to get rid of it. I will become the Medigap Mama should this rule go into effect this summer. And so if you do have Medicare in your name, now is the time to reserve that new alternate URL
And
website.
that's the key. You got to reserve it. If someone comes in and buys it,
Then you got to buy it from them.
you're
And the smart people are going to snatch those up. The alternate website names. They know who you guys are that have those names.
Mhm.
But before you go change your office, put a new outdoor sign, get new business cards, you know, figure out if you're going to have to change your name. Now, you could wait until the rule is final, in which case then they'll tell us you got to change your name. Or you can probably bet that this one's going to go through. And go ahead and get all that stuff ready. Because it's this is an easy one.
Especially if this, you know, like last year, we didn't think that the call recording would take place, right? And then here AEP hits and everyone's like, that would really stink if you didn't think this was going to go through, and then AEP starts and
And
now
you got to change your name and your
all
business cards
that-
and your website. Right. Yeah. So
Oops.
that's one that I'm happy about. But again, their proposed rules, we will wait a couple months and we'll find out what makes it through and what gets altered and keep our fingers crossed.
It's very exciting.
Tune again next week. If you do not subscribe, shame on you. Hit the subscribe button.
Shame.
If you have questions about this content, ask us in the comments below. We'll get back to you.
Good selling, folks.